Hamilton originally began supplying precision railroad watches to the soldiers during World War I. They were used to time troops' movements. Although of the requisite accuracy, the watches first had to adapt from pocket watches to wrist watches to ensure the soldiers could read them quickly and easily. Having learned from previous experience and still with a strong reputation for accuracy, Hamilton began supplying watches, timepieces, timers, and precision instruments to the U.S. military during the Second World War. In 1942, Hamilton even halted all consumer productions to ensure they could supply the huge number of watches required by troops. From 1942 to 1945, Hamilton delivered more than 1 million watches. The Navy being one of Hamilton's biggest military consumers during this period, eventually receiving more than 10,000 marine chronometers during the years of conflict. The heritage of the khaki lineup dates back to the early 1900s. It is this history that has been inspirational to many brands such as Seiko in their creation of the field watch and even pilot watches. Hey everyone, Laz here. It is this history that brings us to what's on the wrist today, the Hamilton Khaki King II. I'll do a deep dive on this piece, and at the end of the video I'll give you my take on this watch and we'll see if it's even worth your time. Alright, we'll kick it off here with the movement that's housed within this watch. You have the ETA H40 with an 80-hour power reserve. In terms of the case size, you got a 40mm case size, 11 millimeters on the case thickness, and then you also have a lug width of 20 millimeters. So that's going to fit. That's going to be the more common size for your, or the easier to find bands for your watch. The finish on this case, you got a nice brush finish along the sides, with a very, very high polish finish on the bezel itself. All right, as for the glass on this is actually a sapphire crystal that you have for the actual glass itself. It does not have AR coating under or above the sapphire crystal. So in terms of the reflection or the glare on this crystal, it's when you're outdoors, it's pretty tough. It's pretty harsh, but it's a very legible dial, so it doesn't hurt that much. But again, it'd be nice to have seen some AR coating underneath at least. That would have helped with the legibility of the dial itself. As for the bracelet on this watch, it's not bad, but I would give it I'm gonna say a 8 out of 10. It could have been better if the clasp was just a little bit more tighter on the tolerances. But for the most part, this bracelet, it's not the best. You get a little bit of rattle from the clasp itself. It is a milled clasp, so that's gonna hold up better over time, and it just feels a little more premium. The finish on the bracelet, it's not bad. It's a pretty good brush finish that matches the side of the watch. In terms of the end links, it is solid end links, so that's gonna feel pretty snugged and tight. You're not gonna get that subtle rattle from the bars as the end links are moving back and forth, which tends to happen with hollow end links. As for the water resistant on this watch, you got 50 meters of water resistant. It's not going to be a diver, but it is going to hold up to your usual exposure to water on a daily basis. All right, let's talk every watch enthusiast's favorite part, lume. The lume on this watch is very underwhelming. It really left a lot to be desired. That's all I'm going to say. Before I forget, I want to thank everyone that has supported the channel, and for those of you who haven't subscribed, please do so. Make sure to hit that bell icon and drop a like on this video and a comment, as this does help the algorithm. All right, so let's talk price now. So you can pick this watch up for about $625 with the ETA movement or $425 with the quartz movement. They also have the band version, which is going to be a little bit cheaper. But I would also recommend checking out Amazon. You should be able to pick this up for under 500 on Amazon's website. I did pay a little bit over 500, but it's just the pricings that they had at the time. And again, I would probably recommend also going with the bracelet version as well. Another spot you can check out, see if you can get a pretty good deal. Sometimes they have it on sale is on Joma Shop. Problem with Joma Shop is kind of hit or miss. They do charge, their shipping is hit or miss, and they also charge for shipping. So it's $460 list price, roughly around there, or $499. But if you go ahead and add that shipping in, you're probably going to be close to that Amazon pricing, and Amazon's going to give you next day shipping.
All right, as promised, my take on the Hamilton Khaki King II. The fit and finish on this watch, we'll start there. We'll give it an 8 out of 10. The bracelet on this watch really left a lot to be desired. The tolerances on the clasp just weren't up to my expectations for what quality should come from a Swiss-made watch. The brush on this bracelet as well didn't quite match the brush on the case of the watch as well. So it's another thing that kind of bummed me out a little bit. And then also the bezel. The bezel on this watch, it seems to be more so plated than it is polished, and that when you look at it, and it could be polished indeed, but it's more than likely, if it is polished, it's a really bad polished, and it's typically what you would see in a lower end watch. So yeah, it could have did a little bit better there. The dial on this watch is spectacular. The symmetry on the dial is just on point. I love the way they cut out the day on top, and then right underneath the day they put the date. So very good execution on Hamilton's part there. Again, I give it an 8 out of 10. As for the movement, this is an excellent ETA movement, Swiss-made movement, tried and true. This is a workhorse of a movement. I believe it's the ETA H40, but this is the modified version from Hamilton, which comes with a 40-hour power reserve. I can't say how much that's, to me, that's the highlight of the watch. The fact that I can put my watch in the watch box for 2 days, put it right back on the wrist, and it's still ticking away. So that power reserve of 80 hours really comes in handy, especially when you don't have a watch winder, which I don't. I'm not a fan of those because I feel like they put unnecessary wear and tear on the movements, and when you have more than one watch, it's probably not a good idea to really to really put them on a watch winder. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. The versatility of this watch. It's one of those watches that you can dress up and dress down. And for that reason, I gave it a 10 out of 10. Now, is it going to fit everyone's lifestyle? No. If you have an active lifestyle, this is probably not going to be the watch for you, simply because you lose that water resistant. It's only rated at 50 meters of water resistant. With the back is, or the crown is not a screw down crown, and that's really gonna really affect that water resistance. So again, if you have an active lifestyle, I don't recommend it. As for the crystal, it does have a sapphire crystal, which is a plus, but on the downside of that, it doesn't have any AR coating underneath the crystal or on the top part of the crystal, which kind of hurts a little bit, that visibility, but it's not a deal breaker for me. Now, my final verdict on this watch is an outstanding competitor in that entry level of Swiss made watch category, and I really highly recommend this watch if you're really trying to get into that Swiss made category of watches. Hamilton is gonna be probably one of the best places to start. And then you can kind of explore from there. You have companies like, I think it's called Denova. I could be wrong, but I think it is called Denova. That's Swiss made. You have Knoxville, which is also Swiss made. They make Swiss Army knives and excellent watches as well. So the the playing field for Swiss made watches in the entry level category, it's pretty wide now, and then I feel like that's going to continue to grow as time goes on. Now, is this watch worth your time and money? That is completely subjective and up to you. For me, it is. I think at 500 or under $500, this is probably going to be one of the best offerings in that category. Well, there you have it, guys. That's my take on the Hamilton Khaki King II. Again, I want to thank everyone who has supported the channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Hit that bell icon so you're notified as new videos come out. Don't forget to like this video and drop a comment on the section below, and that's gonna really help the algorithm of this video. I promise you, as time goes on, you'll see the quality of these videos get better. Um, I'm working on getting a macro lens to be able to give you really, really close up detail images of the watches that I'll be reviewing on this channel. Once again, this is Laz. Till the next one.